We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Chop Robinson, Miami Dolphins rookie edge defender. And honestly, he's been on a tear these past few games and continued that versus the Raiders. Like, he was dominant. Only played 26 snaps and had 6 pressures on those 26 snaps. Only about half of those were, pass rush reps. He had a 50% win rate, which is insanely high. Like, he was really, really dominant, especially when he got one-on-ones. Even when he didn't have one-on-ones, he was still making plays. He was winning in some different ways, winning to the outside shoulder a lot, which is big to see. Still using some of that speed to power, winning on stunts and things like that. Didn't get any sacks in this game, but you can just tell how good he was and how much more comfortable he's feeling as a player. This is why, you let these guys try to develop, because Chop, looks like a completely different player than he did in the first, 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and it's just gotten better and better every week. Like, I think his best game of the season last week was versus the Rams, and I think this one is just right up there with the Rams. He just didn't finish with a sack this time, but he's still just as disruptive, creating as much pressure, doing things just across the board. This was one of my favorite reps from him right here. One-on-one with the right tackle. I love how, he gives, he's giving, he's mixing up the tempo. Like, I feel like earlier in the season, he was just running down the middle of guys, running straight at them at full speed, and it just makes life easy on the tackles when you're not mixing things up and they know what to expect. But here he's mixing up his tempo. He's giving a little bit of a foot fire. He's giving that inside stab right there. And then he's also doing a good job with his hands. He swipes down with his hands, and then he rips underneath, dips, and then plays with bend. A lot of times when he got to this position, he would slip and fall. But now he's playing with bend, getting to the quarterback, staying super low. Like, look how low he is to the ground. And ball's forced to come out quickly. Forces an bad throw here. Almost gets picked by the linebacker, but, he wins one-on-one. Whenever he got one-on-one, he was absolutely destroying that poor right tackle, which is a backup for the Raiders. And he was absolutely dominant, which is what you want to see out of your first-round rookie, is dominating a backup tackle, because that's what he should be doing. And he definitely went out there. Love how he was able to mix this up. His footwork has clearly improved. He's clearly rushing with more of a plan, and he's staying on his feet a lot more often than he was in earlier seasons, creating pressure, getting a nice little QB hit on the quarterback. The explosiveness to the inside, when he's able to, he has such a crazy first step, but then when he's able to knife to the inside like that, this isn't even a crazy stunt or anything. He just sees, a lot of time when he knifes the inside, it's usually a stunt work. This one, he just feels the space open up from the right tackle, feels the overset, and he's so fast. Even though the right guard and the center both have no one to block, they get over too late because Chop is so quick to the inside. He's able to get in there and then forces Minshew outside the pocket, which ends up forcing a throwaway, which he just is so explosive, man. You can't teach that. Not expecting it, and completely moves Minshew off his spot, and he ends up throwing that ball away. Lots of good reps here. Even, they gave him attention. This time he gets the tight end to his side. The tight end's chipping him. Tight end's actually blocking him initially, but he's still so explosive, so fast. He's still able to win to the outside, get off of the tight end who's releasing, and still so explosive that he's able to dip underneath the right tackle there, reduce that surface area by dipping that shoulder, giving him his back, not his chest, and was able to, force Minshew to dump it off. And they complete this, but it ends up being, getting to a 4th down after this. It was 4th and goal after that play. Chop just doing a great job, winning so fast, even though there's 2 people responsible for him. He's got that bend and ability around the edge, which was, I think, the biggest thing to note in this game, is him winning on that outside shoulder a lot. Here's another rep of it. Ball coming out super quickly, so he's not able to, super affect the play. But if you just watch him, he wins this rep very, very fast. Dip, rip underneath. Flashes these hands like he might use his speed to power, but then he dips underneath it, rips, shows the bend, flips his hips. Once you get to this spot, you're taught, throw that right elbow back, which he does. Right here, he throws that right elbow back. When you throw that right elbow back, it forces your hips to turn and open up towards the quarterback, which he does, and he's able to show that flexibility. And if that ball doesn't come out quick, he was cornering to hit the quarterback. He is right there to hit Minshew. Unfortunately, the ball was just coming out really, really quick. But this is a very, very good rep to see, and just showing how fast he was winning off the edge. Clearly the Dolphins' best edge pass rusher right now. He has the highest pressure rate by far, by 10%, I believe, for the Dolphins. Here's another pressure. This one he gets isolated on the tight end, but they're play action, so he gets engaged with him initially, thinks it might be a run. He's peeking to the inside. Once he identifies it's a pass, he He uses a push and pull, he stacks and shed, throws the tight end on the ground like it's nothing. I also like this because when he sheds the tight end, it's not like because this tight end's going to become a receiver after he does this. He's going to release late. But when he sheds him to the ground, which, takes away an option pretty quickly for Minshew to throw to. And then Chop gets a nice, pressure on him and forces that throw away. Just, winning in multiple different ways. I think he's also done a good job. Like, he shows that hand, like, hey, you might throw it. I'm going to show that hand, like, to bait you, almost giving me a pump fake, and then still get after him, and then gets the throwaway right there. Just good reps. Still able to use speed to power. You can see the effect that he has on this. Mixing it up, using the foot fire, showing some hip fluidity, giving him a little bit of a shake here right before he engages, and then boom, speed to power, engages them, and pushes him back multiple steps into the quarterback, and everyone just converges on him. You get Benito Jones converging, Sealer converging, Ogba even converging on the other side. Everyone converges, and I think Sealer ends up being responsible for the sack, but everyone does a great job on this rep, and it's just nice, Chop speed to power is one of his go-to moves, and he still got that in the bag, but it's nice to see him use other moves throughout the game, and then that helps his speed to power to be more effective. Even here's another example of speed to power, force the ball out into the flat quickly. Look at this, like, the right tackle moves, like, I think the right tackle false starts. He gets off the snap here quick. Look how much he's moved compared to everyone else. Chop even points it out. He's pointing at him like false start, but even while pointing, he's still playing the rep at full speed, gives him a foot fire into a speed to power, and forces Minshew to check down quickly, because look how much he just collapses that pocket right away from the outside. Just so impressive. Forces the check down, which ended up being a touchdown, by the way, because Kohu missed that tackle. I'll break down the defense tomorrow, so you'll see the full defensive breakdown. But Chop was really impressive in this game, just again. And I think that's been a huge part of the defense finding some success. I mean, even though they didn't have the greatest game versus the Raiders, he's been a huge help overall. Even here versus the run, he sets the edge initially, kind of forces this running back to make a decision, but he sets the edge pretty well right away. He does end up going to the inside, but he does get kind of held here, like he's getting hooked around the neck. But him, like, slowing this down long enough, constricting that run lane, nothing is here in the interior. He was pulling off the interior. Then you have the DBs able to work off the edge of you to fill with Duck and Kohu. And he's still able to spin off of it and get involved in the tackle late as well. Just overall, good play versus the run. I feel like he's been... I don't think it's ever going to be a big strength of him versus the run, but he has been better. If you can just get, like, average play for him versus the run, I think you're going to want to take that. Another example, Dolphins, he's slanting down because he knows he has the blitz off the edge from Ramsey, so he has to slant down. Stay the patient. He rips underneath the right guard, showing strain, showing just some good core strength. Kind of hesitates too, but good active feet. Fight through contact from the pulling guard. Kind of gets messed up, and he's able to, bend. Basically helps force the Minshew to escape the pocket and force, a throwaway out of bounds with Ramsey and some other guys creating some pressure. Deshaun Hand. Pretty much everyone winning to their gap. So Minshew has nowhere to go except running outside and throwing it away, which just a constant pressure battle in this game. Chop. This one not as clean. He is trying to win around the edge. You can see him getting low. Love how low he is here. He rips underneath. He has to win to the outside here. He knows, just based on what they're running, he wants to win to the outside because they line all three of them on the outside, and they're working a stunt Calais to get around. I do believe if Calais didn't try to get to the inside of this guy and work to the outside, it actually would have worked out perfectly, because then he kind of Chop forces Minshew to step up in the pocket. If Calais looped around this way, it would have forced, it would have put him right in the lane. So I actually think Chop makes the correct move here, and actually has a pretty nice rep that, you don't necessarily count as a win, but I think he does his job on that play. Unfortunately, didn't work out perfectly, but man, he's doing a good work. He's, even your crash guy, your loop guy, here he gets to be the crash guy. So similar formation where they leave Chop isolated to the one side of the line, all the other three are on the other side, except this time, instead of Chop going to the outside, they have him knife inside as the crash guy. Campbell gets engaged with 66 right away, but Chop just takes him out of the play. The right tackle is so nervous because Chop's already won to the inside. He's been so fast, explosive all day. He hard commits to it as well. He then clears up Campbell, takes the right guard out of the play. Calais is now got a free lane with also Chop kind of forces Minshew off his spot, and then it forces just a check down again. Literally was just forcing checkdowns all game. You want to see him finish for more sacks, but we've already seen him in the previous 2 weeks. He was able to finish with sacks. So I think that, the pressure is what you're really looking at for like future long-term success. And he was getting a lot of attention. He's getting chipped by a tight end here. He gets one-on-one with the tackle. The running back's also releasing to his side, so he's not able to just win to the inside either. But he's still able to get somewhat going here. It just shows the attention. He loses late in the rep, but just shows like throughout the play what they're kind of looking at from him, and just check downs happening galore across the board. So big fan of what Chop has been able to do these past few weeks. He's really come along, and I think that's been very, very helpful, especially with the Jalen Phillips injury. I think if Chubb comes back and actually looks like somewhat, like I would say like 80% of what he could be, you never know with the injuries and stuff, that would be huge, because they don't really have, because Sealer and Campbell are playing great football. They're getting pressure in the interior. It's just you're not really getting any pressure off the other edge spot, and it's not like Chop plays, every snap either, because he is not the best run defender, so he rotates in and out as well. But they're not getting too much pass rush off the edge other than Chop. So if we get Chubb back, that just helps the entire defense being able to have multiple pass rushers. We saw what it would have the effect last year. It helps the linebackers. It helps the defenders and your DBs in coverage, that type of thing. So, really shout out to Chop playing good football. And honestly, shout out to the whole team. It feels like everyone, even though they had a slow start, it still feels like everyone is bought in, and they've shown some grit and some fight. And they've been playing well the past 4 weeks, even though it's only been, they're 2-2. They're on a 2-win streak, but like, even though they lost those first 2 of the 4, they were playing tough in those games, offensively, defensively. The offense has been really good. The defense was really good last week. Hopefully, they can just play, I think at a slightly higher level than they did in this game, and I think they'll be fine. But if you guys are doing it, just like comment and subscribe and peace.